Hello and welcome back to Dutch East Indies, and most likely the last episode of our campaign to keep this part of the world from Japanese. Uh, One thing which we need to do is get Singapore to level 5 airbase, and we will be able to do that once one of our convoys with fuel gets there. We need extra 70 fuel so we can upgrade the base, and we'll have the here's a convoy that will bring this there. It's a few days of game time, but hopefully we will get something interesting. We do have something interesting right here, which is this engagement between Truant and maybe two CAs. So let's go and resolve that right away. Here is newest Truant spray, 2 Japanese cruisers. We are going to get greedy and try to get both of them. We have lost 10 torpedoes. This is basically almost certainly the last attack that she's going to do in this campaign. So let's do it. Prepare the torpedoes. 5. Let's give it 3 degrees spread. We have 12 torpedoes altogether. 2 aft, 1 forward, and we've ID'd it as an AOBA, which is something we haven't seen before yet. Let us go slightly deeper in case they would want to notice us. We are at 3,000 yards. Good. Let's move. Torpedoes are away, and we are coming to a periscope that with the scope going up, so we can watch our attack in person. And here we are. Let's turn scope. And we will see whether the greed has paid off or we were just too greedy. I would say the torpedoes at the leading AOBA looks good. All 5 of them should be hitting shortly, I would say. But we will see. We will see indeed. Probably around, just slightly behind the mast should hit the first one. Yeah, right. 2, 3, 4, 5. How about the other ones? Well, 2, 3. We've got 4, 5. That's a very good. We've got all 5 torpedoes hitting. Now the question is, what will it do? Scope down. We are going to go down to depth. The speed is dropping on this one. This one looks very rough as well. Strangely enough, all of our 10 torpedoes hit. So, the question is what's going to happen now. If we got a magazine explosion, 1 AOBA is sinking, good. That means that we can use 2, the leading AOBA is sinking, this one, which means that we can use 2 torpedoes on the second AOBA, which is also dead in the water. This one should have probably basically her stern ripped off. We will bypass it, and then we will send our 2 aft torpedoes into her from the other side and see what happens. And it looks like our greed has paid off in our last mission. So Truant will go out on a very high note. I'm sorry, Trusty, but it was Truant that sort of was the thing. But I would say I'm a fan of the British subs. They were the stellar performers, together with the torpedo bombers. Torpedo bombers and the British subs were the stellar performer in this campaign. Subs usually are really good, but it was harder to get in position with them, at least for me, because sometimes it was, yeah, as if the computer knew where I was, even in very rough weather. Sometimes it was that, yeah, it was much nicer, especially when there were no escorts. We will see how it goes. I think we are just about in the arming range, but the question is whether we will turn or not. This is a bit sort of stupid thing where I can't really, like, I should be able to fire with my back behind it, but I can't, because for reasons which I do not entirely understand, the game thinks that I do not actually see anything if I'm not turned ahead to it, but this looks very good. This looks very good indeed. As long as it's not a Dada. And it was not. So we will reload and send another torpedo her way. And our last torpedo off. If this doesn't sink her, then we will not sink her. We will have to leave her like this. Honestly, it should be scuttled. It will probably hit close to where the previous one hit, which is not optimal, but we can't really be choosers much. And she is sinking, so Truant back to our base. Yeehaw! We are actually going to go up and have a look at her. From close up and personal. And you can see that they have different problems than shooting at us right now. Well, you can see now here how the roles have been exchanged. The sub's on the surface and the cruiser is below surface. This is a nice shot. Enough bloating, we are out of here. Two Albas sank for 4 command points. I believe that there are no more Albas. Yeah, both of them done. We sank one Furutaka in the previous episode, so there is one Furutaka left. And you can go, my friend, to Batavia, although there isn't anything for you to replenish there with. Okay, so again, I'll leave the time run. I believe there is another force somewhere here that I was hunting for with the Task Force Revenge, but can't find it. We will see how that goes. And I was hunting another mini-sub, and it has surfaced just next to me. Not because it wanted, I bombed it, of course. Can't even press my binocular slow enough. Yeah, and there she goes. Our Task Force Revenge with Boyce and Warspite and Adelaide has encountered a Japanese small cruiser force with another Furutaka and Kuma and a destroyer, and we are going to engage. You start circling, sir. We are currently at about 20,000 yards with Warspite, 24,000 yards, 60% solution. So we are going to say AP full, might start spotting. Boys, well, Adelaide will probably provide some star shells while we are at it. The visibility is not great. We will see what we can do there. Boys, you will target Kuma with AP, and everyone else will be far too far to actually matter. We are swinging in action, and for the first time and probably last time, you can see ABDA battleship in action. Well, last time in this campaign, I mean. And it's quite an impressive sight, if I say so myself. Okay, let's see where our shells are landing. Not great at the moment, honestly. Not great, but we will see. You don't have star shells? No, she doesn't have star shells. AP then. Boys, do you have star shells? Yes, you do. It looks like they haven't been issued to Australians. Explosives for Taka, 85%. Nice. Hopefully we will get a nice hit soon from these big guns of ours. You can see it just here, mostly from the big guns of the battleship. Up slightly. This is the top speed for Warspite, so I don't want to go any faster. I don't know whether it was hit or whether it was a near miss. Okay, we've got some star shells up. This looks like it was the secondaries. I got secondaries on Warspite firing as well. Yeah, now Warspite fired. That was a very close miss, I would say. This is getting pretty close on Kuma though. I think we've got some damage on Kuma. This was close. This might have done some underwater damage. Let's have a look. Furutaka, moderate flooding, indeed. These shells have hit and have caused some flooding damage already. And you can see she has a list already. Very small one, but she has. Adelaide, she looks like sort of interwar cruiser, and she most likely is an interwar cruiser. Doesn't look very modern. And we've already started fires on the destroyer as well. Or maybe the destroyer is laying smoke, hard to say. But the fires on Kuma has stopped for a moment. That was a nice hit on Kuma. And Furutaka is slowing down. What I'm going to do is I am going to switch boys to fire at the destroyer. Just to avoid any embarrassing torpedoes. What would be cool would be a flying camera on the shell. If this was a main battery hit. But unfortunately it didn't seem to have caused any fires or anything. Unlike the destroyer which just got pummeled. But it still seems to slow down the Furutaka, so yeah. Boys seems to be getting a good hammer on the destroyer. Let's watch it for a second. That was very good bracket. Nice. We are churning on the destroyer. We are churning a lot of water, killing a lot of fish potentially, although it shouldn't be too bad here. But we are not hitting enough steel. This was a hit with that Tolt. By the looks of it, the Kuma has definitely been seeing better times. Warspite is actually being hit and burning, believe it or not. He has got some damage to its director. Okay. The destroyer seems to be wrapped up, which is fine. That's what we wanted, that's what we are getting. You can see how high we are on the bridge. That was a good hit on the destroyer. And another one. And we got a hit on the Furutaka as well. And that was our main guns. Going on. I would say that destroyer is not long for this world. Critical and heavy. Let's change target for boys. Scout has been hit, which is nasty. I think it's the destroyer which is hitting it. Which hopefully could be going down shortly. No, I don't look like the destroyer is firing anymore. This turret is definitely out of action, and it looks like the aft turrets also are not firing. You, sir. Speed up and start turning away. We don't want to lose the destroyer. You are going to go home. The lead destroyer is usually the first casualty. Brave Sir Robin. Run, Kuma, run. Yeah, Furutaka is dead in the water mostly. Not entirely, but close enough. I would say that Furutaka is probably done for. Yeah, she is burning. Now this was a good hit. I don't know what hit it, but it was a good hit. Which most likely is going to slow her down. Still amazed that the destroyer is still afloat. And a bit annoyed because the smoke from it is probably blocking the smoke that are shooting at the other ships. Something is sinking, I would say. That's probably the destroyer. Yeah, finally. I'll keep to select the area, which probably doesn't matter that much. I hope. Okay, this was a good one, but I don't think it was us. I think it was a secondary explosion of the inner fires. Okay, let's just target Furutaka first. We are going to so that we don't get the smoke. Yay, we have fires. Good. Faster she goes, the more fires spread. That's fine. I think Furutaka is sinking. Indeed she is. So Furutaka is sinking. And another cruiser sent to the bottom, which means that they, of the new Albas and Furutaka cruisers, they have none anymore. Because one was destroyed. 2 Albas were sunk by Trusty. No, Truant. One Furutaka was sunk now, and another Furutaka was sunk by Exeter and Houston. Well, we've been chasing Kuma for a while, using up, as you can see, tons of ammunition. But she's now slowed down to 13 knots, so she is almost certainly dead. Boys has only secondary batteries that are usable and 2 rear turrets. But they are doing a good job, I would say. I've also sent Warspite close up. She still has some ammunition, not a huge amount as you can see. Yeah, plenty of high explosive in secondary, but the main batteries are run down. We will see. But she's 20,000 yards away, while Boys is just around the corner. So this is a double extinction event where both last Furutaka and last Kuma were sunk. Sailing into history as probably the last ship to be sunk in the campaign of Dutch East Indies. Those were probably some of the last shots of this battle, because she is not going to last much longer. Might as well order ceasefire. Burning wreck of Kuma. Flame stern to stern, critical, not moving at all. It's a question of time. And Kuma is sinking. The last of Kumas, and probably the last ship we are going to sink in this campaign. Okay, sunk everything, 3 command points. Yeehaw, for a damaged scout. Which means we are going to swap. And we are going to go down so that they can potentially replenish. And we will reshuffle the forces here. We've got, where is it? Convoy 03 is heading to Singapore. And so we came to the end. The convoy successfully reached Singapore. Nothing much happened since then. We've got enough to upgrade to level 5, and therefore we go to level 5. And shortly, I would say, we should get our "you win" message. Well, there we go. After 36 episodes, a lot of air-to-air action to start with, and some effort, we got victorious in the Dutch East Indies. Java has been secured, and the newly contracted airfield is already playing a pivotal role in providing air superiority over Malaya and Java. The loss of men and materials during the East Indies campaigns have taken a heavy toll on Japan's war effort. Well, we sunk almost all of their navy, so sure, it did. The momentum of war swings against Japan as the Allies make plans to continue the push through the Malay Peninsula as well as start new offensive across the Philippines. Japan's plan for a quick victory and negotiate peace are beginning to unravel. Well, given that they have almost no navy left, I would say not just unravel, they are gone. Anyways, I hope you have enjoyed the campaign. It had its ups and downs. It was, I have to say, I was exceedingly lucky in a number of ways. There was a bug somewhere in the, I don't know whether the game or the save, which meant that I was actually suffering way less air attacks than maybe I should have. I was trying to fix it towards the end of the game by resetting the air patrols, but by then I've already made a significant dent into the Japanese carrier force, so it's possibly didn't make as much difference as it could have if it was if I found it earlier. Yeah, but it was still fun. The MVPs of the game were definitely the submarines. The submarines were just great, which does tell you something about the game in both good and bad ways, because the number of times we've encountered a task force which had no destroyers, and therefore we were able to sink significant sort of carrier force or something. It was just amazing. If half of those things had destroyers, we probably wouldn't have been as successful, because running away from a destroyer is much harder. We have done it successfully a couple of times, even damaged, which is the reason why I was trying to kill the destroyers to start with, because I knew that if I was going to use the subs, the significant Japanese destroyer force would have to be whittled down. The more you whittle it down, the more operational space your submarines have. Yeah, that's the theory. In practice, the game's AI made it even easier for us, but there is only so much we can do about this. If I do play something else like TTE or something like that, I will switch the subs off. I wouldn't switch them off here if I play the ABDA again, because it's so crucial a weapon, and you do not have enough of significant weapons that you had before. One last thing. We didn't get this message right after Singapore. I've actually found that I have to capture Banjarmasin on Borneo. So I went and captured it. It took a couple of days because I just moved some troops from Surabaya there and from Singapore. so it was fairly quickly. If I knew I had to capture that, I would have done it while I was traveling supplies and everything to Singapore. So if you are playing 1.5 or earlier campaign, just be aware that Benjamin is a victory objective and it's not mentioned in the help text. It's an oversight which has been fixed in 2.0, but in 1.5 it's just something that can surprise you a bit. So as I said, it was a fun campaign. I hope you have enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed all of the sub-actions, and I like the surface action. We are going out with a bang. We even got our battleship into action, and while not trusty, Truant got some significant kills in this episode as well. So it was great fun, and I'm looking forward to whatever I will going to do as next series. Again, thank you everyone for watching, and if you did enjoy this, please consider subscribing, liking, and let me know in comments how you enjoyed it. All of that is greatly appreciated and helps me, because it gives me feedback. It helps the channel to get it in front of more people, so all of that is very, very helpful to me. Anyway, thank you and goodbye. I'll see you at the next series.